I remember one time I had a conversation with my Nana, and I said, listen, tell me, which lane do you get in, the right or the left, if you're doing slow? And she goes, oh, well, slower traffic's always supposed to stay right. And I said, that's right. Tell your friends.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
Please.
Has your family always been in the label business or printing business?
No. I mean, like, my father, he always like
Well, he was shipping.
been on the ship, but my mother, she worked in the various places, and then eventually.
Did you say various places or nefarious places?
Like
No,
various
places.
Making sure. Being a poor country and all, the gal's got to make it right.
I send my money home to my prostitute mother.
She's definitely not going to cook for me now.
I'm telling you that I've been to Iceland. I have been to Iceland. I promise you.
So go ahead. Labeling, shipping, and then how they get into labeling.
I mean, labeling, because I'm originally from the north of Poland, from the Lake District.
Okay.
That's where I born and bred. And then, but my mother is from the south, and then in 80s she went for holidays to Lake District, met my father, and then she stayed for 26 years over there. But she never liked this place, you know, and then she always said like the north of Poland is the crappiest place in the world, you know, and then those people over there are like the very lazy people doing nothing, and then they just want the money from the government. So she always wanted to come back to south of Poland, where she's originally from. And then back to 2006, my father, he was in Africa. And then my mother, she got angry about some things happening over there. Then she sold the house.
She's a pistol.
She sold the house. She ordered the lorries, taking a staff to the south of Poland. And then just texting my father, well, honey, listen, when you come back to Poland, make sure you take a train from Szczecin, which is the port city, from Szczecin, not to Mrągowo in the Lake District, but South Poland, because we moved. Love you.
That's a baller move. Like,
yeah, and then
I've been accused of unilateral decisions, but that wins.
Right? You've been accused of being impulsive. Please.
Yeah.
And then she changed everything in her life when she was 50 or nearly 50, and then nobody wanted actually to recruit her to work, so she got upset, and then she bought the first machine, and then she started her own business.
Wow.
So that's how it happened.
And now that's a baller move for a country that, I mean, was
the poorest country in the world.
Really coming back into a democratic system.
Yeah.
And her making that move, I mean, that's huge, because if y'all were still in the USSR,
well, my mom, she always, like what we say with my sister, because I have two sisters, younger sisters. Mm-hmm. We always say like our mother actually wears the trousers in this marriage. You know, she always took all the decisions. But that's the ship life, you know. That's the fake life, which actually I discovered also working for Disney. Well, it's fun, but it's a life where you live without any problems, which you have normally on the land. Mm-hmm. You don't pay the bills. You don't care about the food. You don't care about cleaning your place. Even doing the laundry, you can actually pay to Filipinos, you know, like $5, and then you get the laundry done. So that's the fake life, you know. And then I see my father, actually, he's retired already for 2 years. And then he's still, after so many years being on the ship, he still can't adjust to the land life. He's asking my mom all the time how to actually do some paperwork, how to pay the bills, how to get these things done. Because he never done these things, you know. Always my mom, she was doing these things for him, you know. So that's completely different thing. And then maybe
Like
that's why also my mom, she's the person which actually takes these decisions, you know, and then without asking my father, because waiting for his answer, that would be like 2 or 3 years, you know. So it was easier for her actually to take decisions by herself, you know, and just texting my father, okay, it's done.
Oh my gosh. So you guys were kind of struggling there for a little while. When you first came back, you were telling me that the business was kind of hard.
Oh yeah, well, like all the businesses you're having up and downs, you know, that's true, you know. But now it's all stable, you know, like the last year actually really hits us, you know, with this pandemic. And then with some other things with the workers we had, which were not really reliable. So eventually we sacked them from work, you know, and then we tidied up the places, you know, and then starting like from the beginning, you know. But yeah, the changes bringing always the good things, you know. That's what I say, you know, like, you know, we shouldn't be afraid of the changes. We are scared as a people, you know, but usually the changes, they bring us much better things than we had before. Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. And that is a key point that we often discuss on this podcast is you have to reinvent yourself. You have to continuously change because the world does. And if you don't, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah. If you're stuck in one place, you know.
Right. And if you're a business owner, and that's another thing that we've hit on numerous of our podcast is, you know, there are the ups and downs and you take constant risk. And
all the time, every day.
Yeah. And you don't always come out of it good.
And the workers, they don't see these things, you know. That's the other thing. They only see that you're driving a new car, that you went somewhere on holidays, but they don't see the things like you work 24/7, 365 days a year, you know. Even on your holidays, you're picking up the phones, the business calls, you checking the email. You do those things, you know. So seriously, when you work for somebody, you know, you have more freedom than working for yourself, you know. So it is like this, you know, because you always constantly you have to keep an eye on your business, you know, and on the things which your workers they do, you know. So that's the other thing, you know. And that's what I say, the most difficult part of running the business are people. And they're like you coming to work as a business owner, and then at 8 o'clock in the morning they're knocking to your door in the office, you know, coming with the stupid things, you know, like the problems that they like somebody or they dislike somebody and they don't want to work with this person, and you're like, oh fuck, you know. Like I have 100 million other problems in my life rather than to listen to these things, but you can't show these things to the people. You know, you have to actually say, all right, understand your problems. That's the most important problem of the day, you know, and then you have to deal with it, you know. Even you have some other things to do, you know. So yeah, it's crazy, you know. It's like something which you're not really prepared for that, you know. And then once you enter into the company, which is your company or it's like a family company, and you know that like the most of the like things are in your hands, and then if you make a mistakes, that mistakes they're gonna impact not only you but also your family, which lives from this business model, you know. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, managing is hard. For
it
sure.
is.
And running your own business is hard, and combining the two is exponentially harder.
It is.
You know, it's interesting, you know. I find that when I've done my startups or I've managed people, the culture of the business ends up reflecting your personality in a way, like, and it reflects back to you, and you see yourself you see people mirroring some of your own behaviors, and it drives you crazy because like certain faults, you know, that you have end up they kind of match that. And it's like,
Yeah.
it makes you really, really more frustrated because you're actually seeing a problem in yourself in the process. So it's like, that's been my biggest issue. And that's
And
something
then you
that,
learn also, lots of things.
yes, you do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You do for sure. And I actually, all my failures, of course, have led to, well, I being a little bit more knowledgeable.
But we only learn from the failures. That's
true.
That's the thing, like from the good things they happens, they actually that's what I always say, like they freeze our mind, and then you're in this comfortable zone, like you're thinking, oh, it's going well, I can just lie back, relax, and then do nothing, but then the problems that hits you, and then you have to react very quickly, and then that's the thing which you are not really prepared for, and then you really need to act really fast in those situations, and then you learn a lot of things about yourself.
Yeah, Dave, you had mentioned that actually when we were interviewing Raul, that you quickly learn what you're good at and to get other people that are good at the other things to do the other things.
Yep.
Because
it was a very expensive education.
Yeah.
It is.
Exactly. So, or just do like we did and just go in with the mindset, we're going to hold on to this for 5 years and then we're out and we're going to sell it.
Sell it.
It is interesting though, the entrepreneurial mind, and for me right now, it's been nice to just work and have that consistency and then be able to take on some hobbies, which I've wanted to do. It's, I keep asking myself, do I want to try to start something else up again? And I think now at this age
You
where I'm
have.
at, well, I have, yes, this is just fun. The minute it's not fun, it becomes work. I'm going to design my next company around the kind of lifestyle I want, right?
That's right.
Like I don't want anyone working for me. I mean, that's number one, because that's a headache, so.
Yeah, but sometimes it's impossible, to do things by yourself.
True. Yeah. So, we'll see, I mean. You
shouldn't be scared of employing the people, I know it sounds very scary, but like if you're thinking about developing something, in some point you have to think about it, because you can't do the things by yourself all the time.
Right.
It's a hassle either way, but it's a hassle in different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, one is you have to deal with other people's personalities and their thought process and their work standard and all of that. But sometimes being able to hand off some of the work, and like you said, just some things, you're not good at everything.
Right.
But it all depends on what it is that you want to create.
Yeah. I mean, if it was something where I was building a business that required sales, that would probably not be a good fit for me right now, just because I'm not great at knocking down doors and just, grinding out that type of thing. I like to create things. So, continually improving, and tweaking on things. I'm kind of that nerdy, guy. So it's like, if I can build some sort of an online thing that sort of makes some revenue, that'd be cool. Now, I mean, I've done t-shirt sales online before, and
cool.
And and I've got,
Did you design the t-shirts? Like,
yeah,
I know you need to design us one.
Yeah.
I could do that. So,
we totally need to do that. We need some, like the glass I made for you. We need a professional version of that, and
outfits. Like a whole outfit.
Right. And I got a workout shirt with our logo on it that I got from what's that company you can get online? You get business cards and stuff like that.
Zazzle or something.
No, it's the other one. The other big one. Whatever. I got a workout shirt, that has, the Give It the Go logo on the front.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
we need to have a merch store. That could be your next one.
So that's sort of swirling in the back of my mind, this idea of what's next, because I being in an IT role, the biggest fear when you get over 50 is you start to think, oh wow, am I gonna be able to still hang as just an individual contributor at a company? When you've got these 25-year-olds, so. But I'll say that I've been interviewing, and right now the candidate pool is really, really not good. It's really hard to find good people, and it's either guys who are so good they're like Georgia Tech grads who, they go off to the big, Apples, Googles, and everybody else out on the West Coast, or it's those who are left here in Atlanta, and it's just it's really difficult to find good people who have that mix of good attitude, drive,
reliable,
plus being really wickedly smart. And so that's been my challenge. I had a guy.
You get one or the
Plus-
other.
Yeah.
plus the people which they have a will to work, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Especially now, this generation that's coming out into the
Oh, it's
workforce,
horrible. It's horrible.
they are lazy as hell.
Sorry for young people, but I have to say that they're horrible. They're just
So
like
that's over
having
there
two
too,
left
then.
hands, like for work, and then seriously, it's to
Two
get
left
to
hands.
find the good people to work. It's a hustle,
Yeah. It's
Well,
tough.
I'm relieved to hear that it's over there too. So we're not the only country that's struggling with it.
No, I think everywhere it's the same thing.
Wow.
We need to
New
get back to- we need to-
generation.
Yeah.
I see the difference between me and my youngest sister, which is like 10 years difference.
Oh, wow.
That's a big
And then I see how she actually acts and how she approached to work,
Mhm.
and it's completely different. It's just 10 years difference, and then she grew up in a completely different environment. When she was like when she went to school, she already had the computers, and then and the messengers, and then the mobile phones, they started to be very popular, and then the smartphones came, which when I was little and then in my childhood, we never had these things, so we still played on the playing ground, mommy
Yeah,
yelling from the
that's what I'm talking
balcony,
about.
come back for meal, and we were always like, no, 1 more hour or something, and then I see
I
from my
was stoked
sister.
to have a solar calculator.
Oh. So that's the main difference,
Yeah.
and then I see how she approached to work, and then she's like, okay, if they don't pay me well, I'm not gonna be working. I don't gonna do these things. I'm not gonna be doing this. I'm not gonna do this. In my contract, it didn't say that I'm gonna work like this, and etc. etc. And I'm like, this young generation seriously needs to learn how to live, because they have no idea what's the real life and what's the adult's life, and they're still thinking like it's all fun, but when they're gonna meet the reality, it's gonna be tough,
Yeah. It's, maybe we need to get back to spanking our kids.
I have to say that did not work for Nicholas. It was not a thing. I think we probably popped him on the rear a couple of times, but he was more the one that if you sit down and have a rational conversation, it worked.
Yeah.
And then he turned 18, and now he's learned how to manipulate that. And but I just honestly think his generation has gone through 9/11. They went through, COVID and all the weirdness in between with politics, where grown adults are acting like children.
All right, yeah.
And so they kind of grew up in a weird setting
Mm-hmm.
where the three of us, even you, Kuba, because of what your country's gone through, we've all gone through times where you had to be independent, you had to be a free thinker. And his era was taught to be afraid of everything. And I think that's what the problem is, because he's
well, and the
brilliant,
and fear is what drives those engagements online too, and social media. I think
absolutely,
the algorithm, like what will someone click and pass, and share, they'll engage with things that scare them more than puppy pictures. It'll be something that's some big scary situation, and they so it's like and that taps into kind of, I think, how humans are evolved in general. We're evolved to see danger, because that's why we are all here today, is because generations after generations feared certain things. Exactly. And so we're wired to fear these things. And so I think that's been social media, the algorithm. It's not, it's not that anything nefarious. It's just the way the system works, that things get shared that are scary, and people are trying to scare their friends, and it's like, oh my gosh, look at this. And I mean, my mother-in-law back in the day of early, AOL, back in the, early days of the internet, I mean, she would forward emails about, something, and it was hoax emails and stuff. So actually I created a hoax email that I gave to her, and she ended up sharing it. And it was actually, and what it was because we all remember you used to get those AOL CDs in the mail, and so I sent one. It was like this alert about the fact that they've been known to shatter and shrapnel out, and it hit someone's jugular and killed them. So and it turned out then later I saw that was a hoax that had gotten out a little bit. I don't know if it was from me, but I mean, it was like I just couldn't.
Well
resist.
done, Dave. Well
I know,
done.
right? I mean, if I was the creator of that hoax, that's pretty awesome. But
Totally.
but
But
she's the, what is it? What do they call it when you the first person with a virus? The patient. She was patient zero with that hoax.
Right. Right. But Kuba, you actually hit on something, because you were talking about when you were a kid, you played on the playground, as did we. And so think about that. That's where the fear has really started, and where the change came in. Because when we were kids, we had that iron, twirly thing. You pushed it and you ran around in the circles. You got going really fast, then you jump on and hold on. And I remember, honest to God, I remember in elementary school, sometimes a kid would lose his footing and get caught underneath it and hit his head on the monkey bars. People would fall and break their arms. You just got up, you rubbed some dirt on it, and you kept playing. And now you got all this safety stuff. You got.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
See, they're taught at 3 years old to be afraid.
You see all these parents, you see all these parents on the playground, and they're just like telling off to the kids all the time, like, don't play, don't touch it, don't eat, don't.
Right.
How are you gonna discover the world if you don't gonna do these things?
Exactly. but don't do it in the store, because I don't want to pay for it if you break it. So that's the only time.
Yeah, well, that's true. But the other things, I remember
cheese. I don't want to have to pay for it.
But I mean, that is a bit of our fault as parents, that we have protected them, and then you can't help
too much.
Yeah, too much. And and you're right. It's like you need your kids to have a little respect for things that could hurt them, and that's I mean, I look at the stuff I did, but I put a helmet on my daughter. We didn't wear helmets when we were kids.
Oh, hell no.
No. And like that.
I was eating the berries or the sorrel, directly from the field, and then never washed it, and then I'm still alive. I'm 37, and then nothing happened to me,
For real.
So that's it's pretty crazy what we're dealing with now. But it's I'm hoping that things start to change a little bit. I mean, we may be hitting sort of a kind of a low point that will start to shift. I'm not sure what that would look like, culturally, how things could change. But things do change all the time, and
they do, and they usually have wide pendulum shifts.
Yeah.
So the next election is going to be something else, but we still have 3.5 years to go. There's going to, things seem really kind of hunky-dory there for Trump, and then the last 6 months it exploded.
Yeah. Well, and politics follow culture, so it's if we were to see some cultural shift where this younger generation all of a sudden decides that they need to be like the hardcore generation, and come back to spanking their kids or something, it's like or some very super conservative, it could swing in a really weird way where
now they call defects on you.
Yeah, but and someone starts to unwind those laws or or those policy, where it's who knows what could where we could go with all this stuff.
People don't even take their screaming kids out of the freaking store anymore. Now, I will tell you, I am not proud of this behavior, but I am going to share this story. But I was just in one of those moods, and I didn't want to go to the grocery store, but I needed to. So I go into the grocery store to get said items. And as I'm walking through, there's a lady on the next aisle over, and she's got an infant. I'm an infant to a toddler, somewhere in between there. I didn't see it. I could just hear it because it was an aisle over, screaming its head off in the fucking grocery store. And I am about to lose my mind because I never allowed Nicholas to do that. If we were in a restaurant and he started crying, we went outside, we calmed him down and brought it back in or whatever. Or if he didn't, we left. Because you don't want to disturb other people. But this is screeching like, I'm about to get irate. And then I did. And because it's like every aisle I took, they would come right behind me. And it was like they followed me throughout the store. And it was going on through the entire time. And I really was starting to lose it. So I got to a point because they turned onto my aisle. Now that searing sound, that piercing, is now hitting me in between the eyes. And I finally turned around and said, "Would you fucking fade it?"
Oh my God.
I mean, I lost. And I was like, oh, shit.
Gotta go.
But with that, she looked at me like, she grabbed her kid and she calmed it down. Pick it up, do something. Why would you do that? I mean,
Wow.
it's so unhealthy for the kid too. I mean, I get it. If the kid's crying, sometimes you got to let them cry it out. I get it, but not in public, aisle after aisle after aisle. Fucking fade it or pick it up. Do something. Jesus.
Whenever I see that, I want to do the same thing.
Call me up. I'm happy to.
Oh my God.
Emergency call.
FaceTime.
I'll be like, yeah.
Just
Right,
FaceTime.
well,
Just hold it
WhatsApp
up.
for
It's like, hey, my friend has something to say to you and your kid.
Oh, fuck off.
Hate it.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not proud. I'm just saying. You shouldn't be either.
Oh my God.
So tell me, what are your future plans?
Like a long distance future plans or like a short one?
What's your short first? What do you plan
Short. Well, right now, actually opening another part of the cheese business, a bistro. So it's gonna be the shop combining together with the little bistro, so you can get some meals.
Oh, that's
also
awesome! So will
on
that be
spot.
open when I come? So
Yeah.
can I go shopping in your shop?
You will.
Yeah.
Plenty of wine, only the dishes with a cheese. Yeah. So yeah.
Nice.
So it's due to open the next month. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So that, and then I went into the internet sales. It goes very slow right now. I mean, like, but maybe because my internet store, I'm not pushing it too much, and then
Because it should be jamming right now.
well, I know, but like with selling the dairy products over the internet, it's a little bit like,
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Here, we'll
You-
take a
you-
leap of faith here and say, if you need to order any of the cheese from Kuba, it'll be a link above, or
Yeah, give us the
above, or
link,
above,
yeah.
or above. The link right here, something.
Here.
We'll figure it out.
The internet store runs already for like 6 months. The sales are not very good, but that's what we said at the beginning, so like you're learning, and then I'm trying also the things, and by trying the things, you only learn how to actually develop it and how to fix it. So now I know that I have to do some improvements. Also with the stuff I'm selling online, I can't really sell the same things in the stores and online, because I see the people, they're not looking for the same stuff online, what they want to get in the stores. So I'm focusing right now on this bistro, and then the plans are, if that gonna run quite well, I might open some different locations also,
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
Amazing.
so yeah.
Oh gosh, I wish you the very best in that. I think that would be really, really awesome. So I am supposed to be taking my first European trip
Next year.
next September. Kuba's gonna meet me in London, where we're gonna stay a couple of days and hang out with Steve a little bit. Steve and his family. That's my trainer, and maybe go to a soccer game. He calls it football, but he's wrong. And
It's a football.
But yeah, so we will do that. I'm sure we'll go hit up some cool stuff. You've been there before, so it'll be good to. You've been there for 2 years, so it'll be great to see that. And I definitely want to go to the Charles Dickens house because he's my great uncle.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
lots of great.
well, he's old, He's been around for a while.
He's really great person.
So great. So great.
Amazingly super. Boring writer. But oh lordy. And then we're gonna fly, you said, to Warsaw?
Well, yeah. We're gonna fly either to Warsaw or Krakow.
Okay.
I think Krakow, yeah.
Okay,
We're gonna
so we
fly
have to fly there.
Krakow.
Can we, because we were going to do a couple of days there, hang out with your
close to
family and
Prague.
stuff. Yes, and then you were going to drive me down to Prague. Now, can we do the train to Prague?
Well, we
It's-
can.
That just seems like it would be so fascinating train trip, because then we can get drunk.
Oh my God.
But we can stop in places, right, and check it out or whatever, because there was some stop offs.
Well, we can also drive to Vienna. And from Vienna to take a train. I can leave a car in Vienna and then we can take a train from Vienna to Prague. And then I can come back by train to pick up my car from Vienna. We can do this way. We're
love
gonna figure
that.
out. We're gonna
That's a
just
fun
figure
trip.
out.
That sounds great.
No,
I
that's a
definitely
fun.
wanna
That's a
do-
fun trip, Mel. That'll be fun.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
just not sure I can.
Yeah, but you
handle
need
6
more than
hours in the car.
Yeah, but you need more than 7 days for it,
Yep.
I'm gonna need more. What?
More than 7 days.
Oh, well,
No.
no, I'm gonna try to push for 10, maybe.
Yeah,
11.
10 would be nice. Yeah. I mean, to see the city during the daytime,
Mhm.
but also during the nighttime is really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to stay overnight over there and then early in the morning, leave the place, go through some places and check to Prague. And that would be great, to do things.
I
like
can't
this.
wait to see all this. This is gonna be
Yeah.
so much fun, so amazing. But we got to get rid of this COVID shit first, because
Oh, yeah.
and they gotta open up the borders if you haven't had the shot, because I haven't, because I just don't trust it yet. There's not enough studies. It's not FDA. I mean,
I've got my shot.
Me too.
Yeah.
well,
But who knows?
I've got Johnson, no more tears.
and the Johnson one is an actual dead virus, kind of like what they do with the flu.
Yep.
But the other two is the mimicked
mRNA.
protein,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is interesting. So I think I would rather do the mimic protein and do the double. But you guys got sick when you got your Johnson.
Yeah,
Down for a
yeah.
bit.
Just for half a day. Just for
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
no.
Wow.
I felt like I had a fever and then shivering and that's it,
Oh, wow.
nothing else. But
Okay,
It's
well, that's
okay.
not that bad. We'll see how it goes next year. If there's more research out, then I'm not afraid. But I can just tell you that one president pushed it, and the upcoming president and VP said, if he tells me to get this shot, he can go suck it, basically. And now they are in charge and they're pushing it. So I just, until there's more studies on it, I would just, hey, and the
if
cool
you're
thing
not
is-
in if you're not in need right now to do these things, yeah, just leave it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
I had to
pretty cool.
actually I had to because I was short before going on holidays to
Mhm.
Croatia, and then without it I wouldn't be able to travel that easily,
Exactly.
like without
Now,
the shot,
we're-
so
We're going to Florida in a few weeks.
Yeah.
and there's a lot of cases down there, but Florida's number 26 as far as deaths go.
Hmm.
So per 100,000 capita. They're number 26. So they're way down on the list. Now they got a lot of cases, but I think that's because everybody's on vacation there right now.
Well, they say so. What they say is that if you think about the way this virus spreads, and this is something that I've been kind of following from the get-go, is that it really, you have to be in close proximity inside, that it gets the air gets the virus gets concentrated in a social setting, people close to each other, people sitting close, and they're breathing each other's air for a prolonged amount of time. So it's like, one is that it's viral load based. So the severity of your symptoms are usually based upon the amount of load that you breathe in and get. So number two is that it doesn't survive very well outside in the sunshine. So people wearing masks outside in the daytime is not really reasonable.
Not really helping. Yeah.
Not really rational. But then the other thing that we're seeing is that Florida, because their winter, when you talk about people staying indoors, is the summer, because they're now staying inside, not going out because it's too hot. And so that's why they get all their cases in the summertime, and then they taper off as it cools down, and they start going outside more. So,
well, I haven't read any studies on this. I'm just going by Mel logic. The entire nation is in Florida right now for vacation. So who's to say that they weren't bringing it down from their state, because they're getting diagnosed in Florida. So if you start feeling bad there, then you go and you get a test while you're there, and you could have brought it from Oregon. We don't know. The other thing that's happening, and I just saw another bit of research. What's happening in other countries, it happened in the UK, it's that this Delta variant started to come up, and then it dropped off really quickly. And that's happening. That same pattern's happened in I think it's Sweden or Norway. It peaked.
It's not that it peaked. It's actually a weird precipitous drop off, like really fast drop off. And what they're saying is happening is that the elderly who got the original COVID either died or have immunity, because they've already had it. At least those risk groups. And then they're saying that because we all have learned to sort of adapt to this weird lifestyle, that we'll mask back up again. We'll, and all these things which help, to some extent, and stay well, stay out of these kind of places and things. And it's like, oh, it's coming back, but there's a combination of the vaccinated plus the behaviors. And they're saying that these behaviors are actually causing it to actually end really quickly. So they're saying that they predict that even though it looks like we have an upward trajectory, we'll probably have the same type of fall off, in September at some point, where it just kind of drops back off. So,
but again, I mean, so like going back to New York and New Jersey are the two highest states of death rates, and they all mask up and all that. So why are their percentage of death so much higher? And listen, one death is one too many. We get it, but there's way more people dying in car crashes and flu at this point.
Cancer.
And listen, do what you feel is good for you. If you want a mask, please wear one. You want to wear 12 masks, wear them. You want to wear 12 masks in your car. Don't advise it, but go ahead. If that's what makes you feel.
You don't want to go to restaurant, don't go. You don't want to go to club, don't go.
That's right. That's right. But don't force it on me. And maybe I'm a little bit arrogant on it too, because I haven't changed my life hardly at all. I have traveled, I have done things, I have not contracted, but I'm also type O negative blood type, which is studies have shown are pretty resistant.
Oh, really?
And if you do catch it, it's very mild case.
Oh, wow. I mean, well, in the early studies about the viral load stuff, that was just sort of how I modified my behavior. I just would never go into a place and stay there for very long. So it's like a trip. I'd go into my local Quick Trip, to grab a soda. I wouldn't wear a mask. I just kind of run through and grab my soda and get out and stuff. And if I got a little bit of the virus, it's like, big deal. But there's one night I remember going down to downtown Roswell, and a little bar street. And I was thinking, I want to go have some dinner, have a burger at the bar, and just have some food. And I started walking by. they're packed shoulder to shoulder. And I'm like, nah, I don't
Yeah.
need to do that. And so I found a place,
Right.
I went to like a Vietnamese restaurant and had like, had my own little place spread out and had just a bowl of soup. So, it's kind of it's just, and I never got it because I just kind of kept out of any of those kind of tight social situations.
Yeah.
Is it
and
like in
stayed
States
outside.
also started, because like in some countries in Europe right now, they don't allow the people to get into restaurants or museums without the without showing this vaccination passport.
Oh, right.
Yeah. See, and it's just,
Yeah.
to me, I mean, we've
The
got
Italy,
a
the
law
Italy
over
actually,
here
the
that
Italy
you
started
can't-
it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mean, it's interesting that, here, because they have what they call HIPAA, HIPAA, which is the privacy laws around your
Right.
medical.
You do not have to disclose anything medical.
Yeah.
Well, we have the same thing. We have
Yeah.
also, it calls RODO in Europe.
Mm.
But
Interesting.
Italy started it 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Now France actually banned the people without the vaccination.
Mm.
So you're not allowed to go to restaurant, bar, cinema, theaters, or
anyway.
even events, without the being vaccinated, and then showing this green pass, we're calling that green passes right now. And it's country by country doing the same thing right now in Europe, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very common thing, in Europe pretty soon, this fall, it's gonna be everywhere.
And then you've got all these countries that, didn't do all these shutdowns and whatnot, and their cases are no different than anywhere else. So
Bosnia and Herzegovina, I've been on holidays over there, they never shut it down, the whole country, they never shut it down, the businesses over there, and they have 0 cases,
Right.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. And there's 0 studies. Now,
Yeah.
again, I'm going to go with Mel sense. I get it. It seems like it would absolutely help, not prevent, but help if you wore a mask. If I sneeze in my mask, it's not going to land on Dave.
Yeah.
So,
Especially in
I
Zoom.
get it.
It's just gonna stay all over your face.
Right. And then see my ears. But I mean, that makes sense. But there's 0 studies to show that places that mask up have lower per capita percentages or lower or higher percentage of deaths. And actually the ones that do mask up do have a higher percentage of death, which is weird. I don't know what that study is out there, but there's 0. I don't know. Listen, again, I'm not making an opinion. I am not a doctor. I just
no.
Yeah, so Facebook and YouTube are going to put that big like COVID banner down below our thing.
Mean, for real.
I just said the word COVID,
here.
so now we got a problem. Now it's going to get flagged.
I'm a libertarian. Go do you.
Yep. Protect yourself. I mean, that's protect yourself.
Right. And I will not make fun of you. I will not think less of you. I will be proud that you are going to do what you feel is right, because you should. You should. But don't get all on my shit, because I'm doing what I feel is right. All right, guys. Let's wrap this up, because we're starting to get political, and that's not cool, because that's not what we're here about. No matter where you've been or who you know, pick up the courage and give it a go.
Go. Na zdrowie.
Awesome. So do you guys have a famous toast in Poland?
Na zdrowie.
That's just it. All right, fine. Yeah. Well, let's throw you then.
It literally for health. That's what we cheer for.
I like that.
It means for health, so it's always like this. But on the weddings, the most funny thing is on the weddings, because the toasts on the weddings are never ending. And then there is like a rule, like every single shot you shoot with the vodka, you have to cheer for something else. So you say na zdrowie, and then you say the reason why. And then you say na zdrowie, and then it's like for like that we are together, or the next shot is that we are the friends, and the next shot is that we are still healthy, and the next shot is that we have the full fridge, and then the next shot is etc etc etc. So then you get like 20-30 shots, you know, for everything. I think the last one is for your death. For your next life.
Yeah. Please run out of the vodka. All right. Well, I just want to say
Here's to the empty
thank
bottle.
you.
Thank goodness there's no more shots tonight.
Right. Exactly. I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Kuba, thank you for coming on
you so
with us.
much.
This has been so much fun, and your country is fascinating. You're fascinating, and we're just so grateful to have you. So everybody, please like, share, subscribe so that you know when the next one's out. And until then, Astrovia.
Na zdrowie, guys.
Good night,
Cheers.
everybody.
Good night.
Bye bye.